Welcome to Achieving Student Outcomes Through Cooperative Learning, Section 3, Part 2, 3D Model. We are going to take each of the 3Ds in the 3D model and go over them in detail so that you will know how to write 3D lessons. First, we will consider the subject matter objective. The subject matter objective is what you want students to learn while participating in a 3D lesson. Then we will go over all the sections of the schematic under direct, do, and debrief. After that, we will troubleshoot problems that can occur in groups and learn how we can best deal with them. Please turn to page 71, Subject Matter Objective. At the top of the page, you see the 3D lesson schematic. On the top line above direct, write Subject Matter. This will be the first section of the 3D model that we will discuss in detail. Read page 71, Subject Matter Objective, including the primary through secondary examples. The content of the lesson that you design is critical. You need to ask yourself important questions. Is it filler or is it a worthwhile endeavor? Is it curriculum that students need to know to be successful adults? Why do students need to know what I am asking them to do? Or will students learn and keep this forever? Do not use cooperative learning as hamburger helper. No matter how you package hamburger, it is still hamburger. Make the time students spend together count toward lifelong learning. In other words, we need to get rid of things we do which only fill time and do only what is meaningful. Assigning work that uses the thinking skills provided on the Questions for Life cue cards help ensure that we are requiring students to do meaningful work. Later, we will discuss the issue of having time to do cooperative learning in our already full curriculum, because this issue is of interest to most teachers. Look at the first page of the 3D lesson design form. We will fill in the 3D lesson form based on the 3D lesson on cooperative learning research that we just completed here in class. What was the subject matter objective of the 3D lesson on cooperative learning research that we did earlier? My goal in having you do the 3D lesson on cooperative learning research was to have you work cooperatively to learn the research and to organize it into categories which would help you remember it. Then you were to create a poster to present your organizational theme, which would serve as a memory hook to help you recall the research. I have shortened that goal so that it will fit on this form to read: learn cooperative learning research, organize it, create poster showing organization. Write those words or something similar on your form on the line provided for the subject matter objective. This is the first decision to make when you start to plan your 3D lesson. Determine what skills you want students to develop and what knowledge you want them to attain. This becomes your subject matter objective. Please turn to page 72, Compelling Why for Subject Matter. In order to motivate students to take part in your 3D lesson, you need to explain to students or have them discuss how they will profit by learning the skills and knowledge that will be part of the 3D lesson. It can be a story you tell or a statement you make. It should be short, a few minutes long. Please read pages 72 and 73, Compelling Why for Subject Matter. Stop reading when you reach the subject matter objective and compelling why practice on page 73. We will do that part of the lesson later. Who can recall the compelling why I gave for doing the 3D lesson on cooperative learning research? Remember, I told you a story about how, when confronted by my colleagues, I couldn't substantiate the background for a course I took. I felt foolish and uninformed. Therefore, you will learn about the cooperative learning research so that you will be informed. You will be able to back up your practice of cooperative learning. This answer is a paraphrase of the compelling why given earlier. On the 3D lesson design form, there is only room to write a short paraphrase as a reminder to yourself of the compelling why you will give. What kind of compelling why did I use? Was it for current use, previous use, or future use? For previous, the instructor told of a previous problem he or she had. Current use, participants may have people question the validity of cooperative learning now. And future, participants may have people question the validity of cooperative learning when they are using it in their classroom in the future. Being able to specifically determine which category the compelling why falls into is not what is important here. You want to get participants thinking about how to present the compelling why. The categories of previous, current, and future are given as a frame of reference in which to think about the kind of compelling why to give. If you took PLS Third Learning's Teaching Through Learning Channels course, you might find it easier to think of writing your compelling whys in terms of William Glasser's choice theory: fun, freedom, power, belonging, and survival. This is appropriate for those who have studied the compelling why in these terms. Please turn to the bottom of page 73, Subject Matter Objective and Compelling Why Practice. Think of a subject matter objective for a 3D lesson you could do with your students. Then write a compelling why for it based on a current, previous, or future reason students will benefit from learning the skill or the information in the lesson. Concentrate on a lesson you already teach that can be adapted to the 3D model. Last, write a paragraph of your compelling why that would fit on the 3D lesson form. It should just be a brief reminder of what you will say. Now we know the subject matter objective of our 3D lesson and, generally, what we want students to do. We know the compelling why to give them. Next, we need to choose the type of critical thinking skill we want students to use. Remember the 6 processes we used when we designed starters, the questions for life? These are the critical thinking skills you want students to use and develop in 3D lessons. Locate and remove the Questions for Life cue card from your supplemental packet. For starters, we had used the 4 thinking skills in the top row: perception, induction, analysis, and same different, plus idea and prediction in the bottom row. In the 3D model, you can use combinations of all 11 skills on this card. The new ones are insight, appraisal, summary, evaluation, and action. You see the appropriate keywords for questions or statements that invoke each type of thinking. Insights are similar to induction in that they also ask for a generalization. They differ from induction because they involve making an intuitive leap. They generalize about prior experiences by connecting several in an unexpected way. This is a very high-order type of thinking and can only be employed when students have many prior experiences. Appraisal involves giving a value to something, such as a grade or a rank. Prioritizing things from most to least is a type of appraisal because it creates a ranking or order. Summarizing requires organizing one's thoughts to note key elements or main points, such as those in a written piece or an experience. Summarizing is an important life skill. Evaluation involves appraising each aspect of something, summarizing the most important points, and then making a personal judgment about it. Action means to take action. Action questions request that students take what they have learned and apply it in some fashion. A 3D lesson is often a combination of a number of starters with a different thinking process in each. Therefore, a 3D lesson could have 1, 2, 3, 4, or more thinking processes required in the same lesson, depending on how complicated you want it to be and the abilities of your students. When you start out using the 3D model, employ only 2 or 3 processes by linking together several starters. As students become familiar with the model, you can require more. This concludes Section 3, Part 2, 3D Model. Please continue to Module Section 3, Part 2, the Cooperative Learning 3D Model, Process Practice.